Have you ever had someone try to steal what's rightfully yours, while pretending it's for the community good? What would you do if the HOA called the police? On your own forest? And what if the very people enforcing the rules were breaking the law themselves? Would you fight back, or let them bulldoze history? Keep watching. This gets a lot more twisted than you think. Visual. Calm lake view, soft ambient music, birds chirping. Narrator VO. For over a decade, my mornings started the same way. Hot coffee, creaking dock beneath my feet, and the ancient pines whispering through the morning mist. The forest by the lake wasn't just part of my land, it was part of my soul. But last month, that peace got shattered. 3 squad cars, 1 HOA board member waving papers like a judge, and me, standing barefoot in my bathrobe watching my dog bark at a police drone flying over my own forest. Yeah, that happened. They said I was violating community code, that the forest was technically part of a shared green space. Except, I had documents proving it wasn't. In fact, the HOA was legally banned from touching this land for the next 99 years. So why were they acting like they owned it? I knew something shady was going on, and I wasn't about to roll over. Pause. Beat. Fade. And sound of rustling leaves and a chainsaw revving. Because 2 days later, I caught someone trying to cut down one of the trees. That's when I decided I'd stop sipping coffee and start digging. Visual. Drone shot of a lakeside neighborhood, zooming into one property, surrounded by forest. Narrator VO. Let me rewind for a sec. I live on the edge of Lake Grayson, in a community that looks like a stock photo for peaceful retirement living. We've got pastel siding, golf carts, lawn flamingos, and of course the almighty HOA. Now, most people hear HOA and immediately think petty fines and passive-aggressive newsletters. But ours, think regime. They have rules about trash bin height, what shade of beige your porch can be, and yes, how natural your natural surroundings can look. But here's the kicker. My property sits on the original deed from before the HOA existed. It includes a 4-acre strip of forest that wraps around the east side of the lake. That land is protected. Historical easement, signed in ink 99 years ago by the town founders. It's on the books, and it says, explicitly, that no HOA, developer or board can manage, alter, or govern that land. You'd think that'd be enough. But apparently Karen from Lot 12 had other ideas. Visual. Insert exaggerated reenactment of a woman, holding binoculars and clipboard. She complained that my forest was attracting unwanted wildlife. Then someone else said it was lowering property values. A week later, I got a notice in the mail. Failure to maintain common property. Except, again, it wasn't common property. Pause for effect. That was just the beginning. Because 3 days later, I caught a man in an HOA polo shirt walking my property. Line with a GPS tracker. Narrator, VO. By week 2, things were heating up. I woke up to yellow caution tape strung across my driveway. Not police tape, HOA issued. With a laminated sign reading, pending review for violation. 14B. What's violation 14B? Apparently, obstructing shared community development. Then the fines started coming. $150 for non-permitted brush overgrowth. $220 for unapproved natural obstruction. And my favorite, $75 for failure to address raccoon habitat. Yes, they fined me. For raccoons. Every time I called, I got put on hold or referred to committee discretion. One day, I noticed orange markings on 3 of my oldest trees. I knew what that meant. They were planning removals. I confronted the HOA president, Dennis. Retired Air Force, loves bylaws more than grandkids. Me, Dennis, that land isn't yours. You know it's protected. Dennis, community safety trumps technicalities. Technicalities, like legal deeds. 2 nights later, I caught someone trying to chainsaw a tree. I got it on camera, full face shot. I turned it in. Know what the HOA did? Issued me another fine. For defamation. Beat O, but the best part? Karen started a Change.org petition to beautify the East Lake side. Then someone dumped gravel on my trailhead. Then the drone flights increased. Then, and I wish I was making this up, someone posted a flyer claiming my forest had snakes and was a threat to children. The neighborhood group chat lit up. So I posted the deed. Highlighted, stamped, dated. The HOA deleted my message, then muted me from the group. That's when I knew. They weren't confused. They were coordinated. And if they wanted a fight, I'd give them one. Narrator, VO. I stopped reacting and started documenting. Every drone flight, logged, every fine, filed. I created a private Facebook group for non-board neighbors. I started sharing receipts, screenshots, maps. Turns out, I wasn't the only one fed up. Jim from Lot 8? They fined him for painting his shutters eggshell instead of ivory. Lisa? Her toddler's sandbox was declared a temporary structure. The cracks were showing. I met with a land use attorney. We pulled property records, title transfers, even HOA and corporation filings. And guess what? The HOA's jurisdiction map? Outdated by 17 years. Even worse, they knew. I printed a 6-foot banner with the words, "Private Historical Easement. Do not enter. Ho trespassing prohibited." I posted it between 2 pines, with floodlights. Then I filed a cease and desist. Then, and this was the kicker, I invited a local reporter to do a feature on Rogue. HOAs violating historical easements. The story aired on a Sunday evening. Drone footage, zoomed-in fine slips, my deed front and center. Dennis's quote? No comment. Karen's quote? I just wanted it to look pretty. Cue the public backlash. The following week was delicious. HOA emergency meeting. Mass resignations. A formal letter of apology, signed by the remaining board. They withdrew every fine. Agreed to update jurisdiction maps. And get this, the county slapped them with a $25,000 penalty for unauthorized land action. Karen moved to Florida. Dennis retired from retirement. And my trees? They're still standing. All 412 of them. The kicker? One of the pines they tried to cut? Turns out it was the oldest recorded white pine in the state. The local historical society put a plaque on it. Visual, a shiny plaque at the base of a huge pine tree. Protected by easement, Est, 1843. Narrator. This forest doesn't lower your property value. It raises your perspective. Narrator, VO. Sometimes you have to trade your coffee for court filings. This wasn't just about trees. It was about standing your ground. Because when entitled power goes unchecked, it starts to think it's law. So here's my takeaway. Respect is earned, and ownership is defended. What would you have done if they came after your land? Comment below. And if you made it this far, type justice served so I know you're one of the real ones. And hey, don't forget to like and subscribe, because next week, I'll tell you how I stopped a private developer from turning our lake into a jet ski rental empire. Visual, fade to black with soft instrumental music. Justice served appears in bold white letters.